Hey there, welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and also click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you enjoy this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. So today what we're going to be making is what I call bohemian natural, more modern style pieces for spring, but you can use these year round, and also I think it would be perfect for even a farmhouse style home. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what style of home do you have, and do you think this would fit into your home? So what you're going to need first are a bag of filters, and these are the coffee filters. Now I got mine at Walmart, but they do have some at Dollar Tree that are white. I just wanted the brown tone. So go ahead and grab your filters, fold them in half, and then fold them in half again. In other words, in quarters. And just continue to do that to your entire bag of filters. Now you might not use all of them, but just go ahead and have them ready just in case. I used roughly about a little bit more than half a bag of these filters for the size of wreath that I'm making. Now what I'm going to use as my wreath is one of these foam floral wreaths that you can get at Dollar Tree. And I grabbed some jute twine, wrapped it around my wreath, and made an opening in order for me to hang my wreath from my jute twine. After I double knotted the jute twine, I went ahead and added a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that it stays in place and it's nice and secure. Remove any of the extra jute twine and then start gluing your filters onto your wreath. And the way I glued my filters is I basically flipped my wreath over and I glued two side by side, and I started in the bottom middle part. But you can start anywhere. That's just where I decided to start. Again, I glued two filters side by side, and then I grabbed a third filter and I glued that third filter in the middle to cover up where the other two filters are connected. Just right there. And basically I glued it the distance to where the ruffle part of the first two filters were showing through. So again, glue two filters side by side, and then the third one in the middle of those two filters. But you can make any kind of design you like. I'm gluing all my filters the same way, the same way, and trying to do it the same distance. But you can glue half of them one way, the other way, up and down instead of sideways. Basically, that style of is up to you on how you want to glue your filters onto your wreath. But this was my first filter wreath, and so I wanted to make it as simple as possible to where I knew and felt comfortable making it. But yeah, I do want to make a few more and kind of play with the different designs and see what I come up with. Have you guys ever made these coffee filters before? And if you have, what designs have you made with them? Again, gluing two filters side by side, and then the third one to cover up where I glued the first two. And I just did that throughout my entire size of the wreath. And as you can see, I added a little bit of hot glue into the middle where I folded my filters in quarters, just to make sure that they stayed in place the way I wanted them to. But that's something you don't have to do if you don't want to. Now you can leave a little opening once you're almost completely done with all your covering up your wreath. If you want to add a bow or what have you right there on the side of your wreath. But what I decided to do was cover up my entire green wreath and with the coffee filters, because I came up with something. Well, I didn't come up with it. I don't know who has. Maybe I was the first one to come up with something like this, but I decided to go ahead and add this to my living room as everyday home decor instead of just for spring. So I wanted to make sure that I could remove whatever bow or floral arrangement that I wanted to add to my wreath. So the way I did that was I grabbed just a piece of cardboard or some poster board, and I ended up using my blush pink roses again and some greenery. And this is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's from Walmart. But you can use any kind of greenery. And just what I did was, before I glued all my flowers onto my board, I grabbed some jute twine and I glued 2 pieces of string, one on the top of my poster of my little board that I'm using, and one on the bottom. And just make sure it's a little bit longer than what you think you're going to need, just to be on the safe side. Again, gluing one on the top of your board and one on the bottom. And make sure you glue your jute twine or whatever ribbon or string you're going to use where on the side that you're going to glue your flowers on. And the way I glued my flowers were basically side by side. Again, the reason why I'm doing this is because when I'm done with this floral arrangement, or when fall comes around, or when I just get tired of seeing these flowers on my wreath, I can easily remove them and then add a different board with different floral arrangements or a bow and change up my wreath for whatever holiday or season that I want to decorate for. So that's how I'm going to leave my wreath up all year round and be able to coordinate and change it around without having to basically remove it completely and redo the entire wreath. And here I am just adding some greenery wherever I just thought it would look pretty. So once you're done adding all your flowers and your greenery to your board and your jute twine, go ahead and grab your wreath. And then you're going to tie the jute twine around your wreath and placing it wherever you want. So go ahead and grab your wreath after you're done. Just making sure you know where your hook is at. Now you can add it again on the side, on the bottom, on top, wherever you want on your wreath. I decided to go ahead and place this one right on the side of my wreath. I flipped it over and then with the jute twine, just tied it onto my wreath. And I just did a basic shoe type of bow. I didn't want to double knot it again, so I can just easily remove my floral arrangement and move it around, or just add a completely different floral arrangement or decor for whatever holiday or season is coming around. And there you have it, a removable decorative piece on your wreath that you can leave up all year round. So you can leave it as is and it looks beautiful, but what I decided to do was fluff up my filters to make my wreath look a lot more bigger and fuller. And how I did that was basically just insert my fingers into the filters and just open them. And if you see any of the green wreath part and you don't like that, depending on where you're going to hang it, go ahead and add some more coffee filters in that area. Make sure you fluff up all around your floral arrangement or bow that you decide to add to your wreath at this time. This is an idea that I think you can use even for all those crafters out there that do the craft shows and craft fairs. I think this is beautiful, and it's something that you can maybe make 2 or 3 different floral arrangements and sell it as a package and have it for spring, summer, or spring, winter, and maybe, Christmas or something like that, or fall. And this is the way mine looks hanging up. I have it hanging in my large mirror in my living room. Now for our second project, what you're going to need are 3 boxes of the Jenga blocks. And what I did was glued, I stacked 2 of the Jenga blocks together and gluing them with some wood glue. And I actually glued all the blocks this way, all 3 of the boxes. If you don't have wood glue or don't want to use wood glue, the Fix-All glue from Dollar Tree or E6000 glue would work fine. I wouldn't recommend you use your glue gun for gluing or stacking these 2 pieces of wood together, because for some reason, I don't know if it's just the way I do it, or but when you glue wood together with hot glue gun, it kind of leaves a gap, and it also falls apart really easily. So I would recommend you use wood glue, or again your E6000 or Fix-All glue, any kind of permanent glue. This project, just like the Reef project, I think are 2 great projects that you can use and do for craft fairs, not just for your home. And also they're one of these projects that are very new crafter friendly. If this is your first time thinking of starting to do some DIYs or home decor for your home, these are 2 projects that I think are very easy to do and not that scary for all your new crafters out there. So once you're done adding or stacking your 2 pieces of wood pieces together and allowing them to dry for a little while, go ahead and grab whatever you want to use as a guide to lay your first pieces of Jenga blocks together or down on, depending on the shape you're going to make. I'm just going to make a simple round one, but you can make a square one, you can make a triangle one, whatever shape you want to use. Just go ahead and have something placed on the bottom so you can start stacking your Jenga blocks and using it as a guide. Once you're happy with where you're placing your first blocks, go ahead and grab your second block and glue, add some glue to both ends of that block and then glue them onto your bottom layer. And what I'm doing is basically making sure the ends of my second or the top wood block is attached and gluing to the corners of the bottom wood blocks. And that's kind of how you'll end up making everything nice and even, because they'll all be glued onto the corners of your bottom layer. Once you got these 2 layers together, this project gets a lot easier. Now all you have to do is just continue adding your blocks on top and stacking them to your bottom layers. Adding glue on the corners of your block and just stacking them on top of your bottom layers. And just continue doing this until you're happy with the size. I'm calling this more of a boho, bohemian natural style project or spring decor, but I think this can fit into a farmhouse style home, even a more modern minimalist, I hope I said that right, style home. But let me know in the comments down below, what style of home do you have, and are you going to be making this project or even the Reef project for your home? And what are you going to do different to it to make it fit into your style? I mean, I can see this being painted black or just any color you'd like to make it fit even into a child's room with the baby blue or pink. Once I was done stacking all my wood pieces together, my Jenga blocks, and I allowed it to dry for a few hours, I went outside and spray painted mine a light beige color. But again, you can paint it any color, or you can even distress it with white and make it more farmhouse kind of style. But yeah, just go ahead and allow it to dry. And what I did was I grabbed some individual pieces of the Jenga blocks once it was dry, and I glued them onto the top, which is going to be the bottom, but I glued them onto the top and then I flipped it over, and that would be my stand or the finished look of the bottom part of my Jenga pot holder or plant holder. And now what I'm going to do for the top is I decided to go ahead and use some of this driftwood pieces that I had just around my home, but I purchased these pieces of driftwood at Dollar General, and they always have them there where your candle area is at Dollar General. And I believe they were like $5 or $4 for a bag of quite a few of these little pieces of driftwood. So I just decided to use them to add a little bit more definition and kind of that round finish look on the top of my plant holder. But if you don't have these, just go ahead and use an individual Jenga block to fill in the top part. And there you have it. Allow it to dry, and again, paint it or spray paint it whatever color you like. And here is my finished wreath again. And if you see any greenery, depending on where you're going to hang your wreath, feel free to add more filters in that area. And this is the way my Jenga plant holder and candle holder look. And I placed mine on top of my coffee table. And you can see some of the Jenga words on the bigger blocks, but I painted those again so you don't see them anymore. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite, or are you going to make both? I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. Bye.